Check 1, 2. Very good. Welcome everybody. Hope everybody's staying warm, having a great day. Hardrockers back at Buffalo Wild Wings. Thanks to these guys for having us down here. Quick reminder, this weekend, big games. We have Colorado Christian Friday, we have Colorado Mines Saturday, and it's Toys for Tots weekend. So if you could bring a toy for the Toys for Tots drive, we would appreciate that for the Christmas season coming up. Also, we have some big news to announce here. We're going to take some players out to a classroom today. We're going to take a couple of men's basketball players, go to an elementary school and invite a classroom to the game this weekend, and their teacher to a game, a new promotion. We're starting each conference game this season, so that should be fun. And I'll tell you, you guys are a rough crowd, but second graders are a lot worse. So I'm not looking forward to it, believe me. Let's invite our head coach of the women's team. Talked about this last weekend at Metro State in Colorado Springs, and the weekend to come, Brian Larsen.
Thanks, Nate. Appreciate it. Great showing here. I like all toys, so the toys we bring down this weekend, I still play with quite a few of them. So, but yeah, good to be back home for four straight games. Excited about that. Good road trip. It's always good when you get back safely at a decent time. Good to get with the men's team again. Coach Henry and I pulled out the cribbage board. Neither one of us won, unfortunately, so we might have to just go back to playing 1-1, get some bragging rights. But a little disappointing weekend. Obviously, we go into Friday night against Metro State. For the first time all year, I was pretty disappointed with our effort, and not throwing our kids under the bus or anything like that. If they were here today, any one of them would tell you the same thing. There's no doubt about it. And they knew it. And that's one thing I really like about this group. They're a mature team, and they know when they make mistakes now. Sometimes that hasn't been the case with teams in the past, but this team certainly does. But if it's effort-wise or a mistake on the defensive end, offensive end, they know it. So that was a bummer, no doubt about it. First time all year where I just really didn't feel we had our best effort. And we got out physical a little bit. We gave the most offensive rebounds in a game that we have all year. That's been a big priority of ours to get that fixed. So we got out physical on the offensive glass. And the other thing that was a bit of a disappointment is didn't follow a scout real well. Coach B had the scouts and put together a nice defensive game plan where I thought we could really take them out of some of the things that they do well offensively, and we failed to do it. And they certainly got us on those. You know, when you break down any time defensively, good teams, especially college basketball teams, are going to find your mistakes, and Metro certainly did. First half was kind of nip and tuck, touch and go the entire way. It seemed like we would cut it to 4, and they'd make a little run and stretch it again. We had cut it to 4 with 90 seconds to go in the first half. We had a defensive breakdown on one of their stagger screens that they run quite a bit. They make a 3. Same thing, next defensive possession. We have a breakdown on the stagger screen. We don't get to a switch. They make a 3. And we had some horrible clock management to end the half where we take a little by shot. We give them the last shot, and they bang home about a 35-footer to end the half. So the game went from 4 with 90 seconds to 13 in a matter of time like that. And that was kind of it. We tried to come out and scrap a little bit in the second half and just couldn't get it going again. So unfortunate there that, but the good thing about that, you know, I say quite a bit, you know, every loss is a learning experience, and hopefully that's the one time we have to experience that this year. So we will definitely get that fixed. I would like to point out some individual performances in that game, but unfortunately just didn't quite, really didn't have any. Saturday night against Springs, you guys saw them play last year, national tournament team, 2-time player of the year on that team, Brady Hernandez, who's, wow, phenomenal player. First things first, we got a tremendous effort that game. We did. That was a fun team to coach that game. Talking about our ladies, we really played tough, physical. We didn't let them get any kind of thing on the offensive glass. We moved well defensively. We played fast. We just played hard. So that was really good. First half, Springs they're a tough matchup for any team out there. One being Brittany Hernandez, tough matchup for anybody. But then they got some really prolific shooters, kids that can really shoot it from 25 feet. And if you're not guarding at 25 feet, they have a chance to make it. First half, we lost their shooters a couple of times, and they obviously capitalized on that. For the game, Springs was 13 of 26 from the arc. Okay, a really good shooting performance by them. So hand to them for shooting it in. Really good shooting performance again. First half, we had something to do with that a little bit. We did. We lost those shooters. Second half, we covered up their shooters really well, but they had some kids who hadn't made some shots in the year make some shots. And again, credit to them. Again, we had a few of those were on us. We had some defensive mistakes, some breakdowns. We got a few more of those where they made some shots. But the second half, we really made it interesting. We made a nice run in the fourth quarter there to get it nice and tight. It was a 2-possession game for a lot of the fourth quarter. We missed some free throws down the stretch. Both teams, we didn't shoot free throws really well, which is a head scratcher for me because we're a good free throw shooting team. We missed some free throws down the stretch. If we would have made those, it would have been a 1-possession game and really interesting. But yeah, we got our effort part fixed on Saturday and played a really good game. And that's what you got to give yourself. Every game. I don't care if you're home, on the road. We better play hard to give yourself a chance to win. We certainly did that on Saturday, so that was a good redemption for us right there. Then just a couple of mistakes that we got to clean up. And every team is going through that right now. We always say you just got to get a little bit better every week, a little bit better every week, and hopefully, by the end of the year, we have those things cleaned up for sure, where we don't have any defensive breakdowns, where those teams offensively won't find any mistakes. And we will get there. We are seeing strides, there's no doubt about it. A couple of really good individual performances. Peyton Humple was aggressive offensively and defensively on Saturday. Great to see her bounce back from Friday night's game. Sammy Stefik really shot it well. I believe she was 5 of 7 from the arc. She's our freshman point guard from Fossil Ridge High School in Fort Collins. It just made some pretty impressive plays. We just kind of drew up a couple sets for her down the stretch where she just come off the ball screen and step back and shoot it, and she made a couple from about 22, 23 feet that were contested. So she shot it in and played well. Marissa Herkett played tough on Saturday, and then a number of others, kids that really contributed. So yeah, recapping the weekend, you'd love to get a split on the road. Not saying we would have won on Friday night, but we would have definitely given ourselves a chance if we would have had a little bit better effort. So we got that corrected. The good thing is we're regrouping right now, and without looking too far ahead, but we do have 4 straight at home. Starting Friday against Colorado Christian. Coach B has that scout, and we're just starting to dive into them a little bit right now. A good team. Every team is good out there, but they set more ball screens than any team I've ever seen. They're almost like an NBA team with the number of ball screens they set in possession. So we have to get, one thing that we really have to get better at defensively is communication. Okay, and that's something that was a big factor for us Friday night, where if we're going to switch screens and be aggressive defensively, and that's what we want to do. We want to be aggressive defensively. We don't want to sit on our heels. We have to be a better communicating team and figure out just what we're doing at what times on a certain screen. So we'll have to switch a lot of screens on Friday to be an aggressive defensive team. We'll get that fixed this week in practice, that's for sure. So we got to get better at communicating and knowing who's guarding what at certain points in defensive possession. Haven't seen a whole lot about Mines right now, but again, a team that played the national tournament last year. So if we can do the job this weekend, get our conference record back to 500 and go into the next weekend, we're sitting in a good position. It's nice right now that the schedule kind of falls in our favor a little bit early on. We're starting on the road and then having 4 straight at home. So we're looking forward to the challenge. But I do like this team a lot. This team, I said it earlier, mature team. You can coach them. They own up to their mistakes. They want to be good. So there's no doubt about it. So I'm looking forward to a really good week of practice. The energy level we had on Saturday was great. I hope if you guys got a chance to see us play online, we had a great energy level, but that's something that we have to become consistent with. There's no doubt about it. You cannot have any flat nights when you're in conference play. So I was very pleased with our energy level, and that's something that, again, we just got to get more consistent with. But looking forward to this week, and again, we will definitely, we're getting better every day, and I know that we have a chance to be a pretty good team if we just continue to fix our breakdowns and obviously fix that effort issue that we had Friday. But any questions for me before I hand it off? Nothing. All right, very good. I do like those toys, so bring them on down to the gym.
Thanks, Coach. Hardrocker men had a close one at Colorado Springs as well, and also played at Metro State. Welcome up head coach Jason Henry. Got to get off your phone, Coach. It's time.
Trying to figure out what toy to buy for Ryan, so I'm Ryan, I know that. Yeah, just as far as our weekend, kind of the same as Ryan goes. You know, it's a tough weekend for us, going 0-2, but looking at the schedule, you know, this summer and getting a stomach ache looking at it, that, you know, you got to open up on the road against two teams that, you know, been in the national championship and been in the national tournament the last couple of years, either won a conference championship. One of them, whatever, 2 years ago, one 3 years ago. So, you know, we knew we had our hands full going there. I thought we were as prepared as we've ever been, honestly. Going to Metro, I was very, very excited about our opportunity to go there. I thought our kids were ready. They were mentally ready, as much as we've ever been going to that game. And it still happens at Metro. You know, they just take you out of their game, they're physical with you, they press the entire game, all those kind of things. And we hung in there. You know, we were only down 12 at halftime, and we were 0 for 7 from the three-point line. If we would have made 2 of those 7, you know, it's a 6-point game, and honestly, that's what you try to do when you go to Metro, is stay within 10 points in the first half, because you don't get to simulate that in practices. You know, you can't do what they do for 40 minutes in your practice and you know, basically get you prepared for that. So it takes usually a half. It takes 10 minutes to a half to get through it. And if you can hang in there and give yourself a chance, you usually will have a chance in the second half. Once again, we're down double digits. Did some good things in the second half. Came out. We struggled around the basket. Tristan, you know, we talk about different guys down that. You know, hasn't played a lot of minutes for us. He's a 6'10", redshirt freshman. He did some good things. You know, he's a big, strong guy that when we're playing posts like they have, you know, he's got to get some minutes. The second night, I'll talk about the posts as well, but I was very happy with what they did when they went in there. Got a couple minutes to give Connor kind of relief. You know, he's a little bit undersized, being 6'7", 6'8", you know, 210 pounds. Versus some of the guys that are going after him. So we got to find a way to give him some more, you know, breaks, especially when we're playing at altitude. You know, we go the second night and we're playing at 6,000 some feet, and you're playing 35 minutes the first game. All those kind of things. I got to do a better job of getting those subs in there, and a lot of them are like the Connor Coulisses, where you're battling a guy that's, you know, 6'9", 250 pounds. You know, for 40 minutes, it takes a toll on you, and it definitely, you know, hurts you the second night. So hopefully our posts, Tristan included, can be a guy that can step in and do some things for us. You know, just give basically Connor a break here and there before he gets his opportunity these next few years. The second night, did a good job. Came out ready to go again. You know, we talked a lot about that, like Ryan talked about. You got to get a split on the road. You know, obviously didn't take care of business against Metro, so you still had an opportunity, and we took advantage of that opportunity early and often. We scored, you know, 40 points in the first half, knocked down some shots. They tried to double team Connor. He did a great job of passing it out, and those guys did a great job of knocking down the shots. So, you know, that's what it's all about. That's how we're going to have to play our game inside out. And they come in double, and those guys stepping up and knocking down the shots, and they did that the second night. Going to halftime then. And, you know, just came out, scored, I think, 4 of the first 6 possessions, and then we went on about a 14-minute, 12-minute, where we only scored about 6-8 points, and that was kind of the difference in the game. You know, we go back to the Metro game, and, you know, we plan all week for it. You know, we did a great job of, you know, ready to go mentally, physically, and then, honestly, how we were going to defend their guys, you know, did work. You know, the officials did call how, you know, we were expecting them to be called, so we couldn't go under screens, so they got to the basket too much, so we had to go zone. Sure enough, they knocked down shots. then on the offensive side, grabbing and pulling and doing some things, so we got to go to different offense on that. Same thing happens against Colorado or UCCS. Is you got to prepare and you got to be ready for that game, and we did get a week to prepare, and our guys did an exceptional job of going into that game, knowing what needs to get done, understanding their players, playing off the scout, and basically only having 20 hours to prepare for it. Even at the end of the game, we're down 2 points. We hold them, they don't score, period, not just a field goal, they don't score the last 6.5 minutes of that game, and we're down 6 points, and we still obviously didn't score either. We didn't score enough, to get a tie or to go into overtime. The last play of the game, though, I was super proud of our guys. We call a timeout with 50 seconds left. Tell them what we're going to do. Honestly, we're going to follow him. If a certain guy got it, he got it. We didn't get a chance to fall, so we played out the possession. Worked perfect in our favor. The guy missed a shot. We come down. We already have the set called. Get Connor the ball at the high post, and our 2 shooters on the outside. He goes in, just gets tripped up a little bit. Doesn't get the shot necessarily that he wanted and we wanted, but couldn't ask for any more. And the guys to go execute this time of year shows you that we've been doing it for a while with the seniors, and they just did an exceptional job of exactly what to do. Obviously, unfortunately, we missed a shot. I think there's no question if we had a chance to go into overtime, we had a chance to win that game. But I couldn't be more proud of the guys to carry that over in the timeout and do exactly what they needed to do. So going into this next week, it doesn't get any easier. We play a top 15, top 20 team in the country that just grilled us last year when we played them. And then a Colorado Christian team that plays Wyoming, played Wyoming last night, and they're up 8 in the second half against Wyoming at Wyoming. So they lost by 5 or 6, I think, maybe 7 it ended up. But obviously we got our hands full on Friday night. We know what's coming on Saturday night with Colorado Mines. Christian shoots the ball extremely well. They're bouncing out of defenses. They do a lot of good things at both ends of the floor. Actually, a brother of one of our players is playing for them, transferred from Colorado. And then on the next night with Mines, they had a couple big wins last week again, so they probably moved up. I didn't check before I came here as far as the polls go and that kind of thing. But it don't matter if they're number 1 in the country or number 20, they're really, really good. So we're excited about the challenge. We're excited to have them up here. There's no question about it. Having the 4 games coming up. Last week, we had 1 team in our conference that won on the road. So Federal beat Adams State. Otherwise, every other game was, the winners were at home. So hopefully, these next 4 games, that's the case. I hope that's the deal, and we had 4 wins going in. But like I told our guys yesterday, we literally could be 0-6 going into the weekend, or we could be 4-2 or going into the holidays. And honestly, it doesn't mean squat. With how balanced the league looks, those kind of things, we're going to have some opportunities. The bottom teams, so-called bottom teams, can beat the top teams this year, and vice versa. So we're excited where we're at. Unfortunately, we didn't get the win that we wanted to, planned to, hoped to, all those kind of things, especially that second night. But our guys probably had our best Monday practice that we've had all year yesterday. Came with a lot of energy and they're ready to go, especially with being finals week. That kind of thing, you just never know. But honestly, for our guys, and we talk about this every year, the week before finals is usually the one that's even harder. Papers are due, meeting with groups, preparing for finals, all those kind of things. And I thought last week we were as prepared and mentally ready to go as we ever have since I've been here. So once again, that's a tribute to our guys to be ready to go. But obviously, it did come away with positive results. But yet, I was proud of those guys to be there. So hopefully that carries over when we are in the heart of finals right now. And there's no reason why it shouldn't. We're going the guys that we have on our team. So, any quick questions for me today? We are excited about going. We got Connor Koulis is going today. Joe Newkirk is going to go with them. Going out to an elementary school, and just a great idea that Joel and Nate put their heads together and come up with, Nate or whoever it was. But any chance that we get out in the community, we're doing it. Ask us to do anything, and that goes for anybody watching, that kind of stuff. I get emails all the time when we try to sneak out there, especially this time of year. These next 3 or 4 weeks, we're like NBA players. When we're out of school, all we got to do is practice. we want to fill some time with doing some community service, getting out to the schools, doing some things that we can. Our guys love doing it. We're really looking forward to doing that with the teacher award and getting to meet some of the elementary kids. So excited about that part as well. What kind of questions do you have for me? Yes.
I wasn't able to watch the first game online. How do you guys handle press?
You know what, we handle it all right. It's almost more of a mental thing. They switch in and out of different presses, and they're very physical with you. We did a great job of attacking it. That's one of the things that you have to do is you have to attack the press. The problem with what they do, it isn't so much of turning the ball over in the backcourt, which we did a couple times, but we didn't have a ton of turnovers. It's just a mental wear, and then you go in and you try to finally get into your half-court offense. It's just like a relief. Well, then they pressure you in that too, in the half-court as well. And the bottom line is, it's just so, they're the #1 team in the conference every year, basically because they're able to do that and just the mental side of it. It's not because they're super athletic like they used to be. When they won the national championships and runner-ups, 5 years ago and then early 2000s, they were all like 6'5" and 6'6" doing that. So they were causing you to turn it over. So physically and mentally it stunk. But now it's just more of a taxing the mental side of it. But otherwise, our guys handle it well. We got some easy buckets. It just, didn't carry over that go 0 for 7. We don't make the shots. Our post guys don't finish around the basket because they got a shot block with it. Those kind of things that it wasn't the press that necessarily did turnover-wise, just more mental-wise. Any question? What else? Okay, well, hopefully you guys can all make it out. It's a huge weekend for us. Bring some friends. I was just talking to Coach over here, and the Colorado Mines game is a big game for us. I know we definitely have the game first. That's we want to take care of business, but that's obviously for all of our programs and that kind of thing. When we're recruiting the same kind of kids, Midwest guys, engineering students, that kind of thing, and we got to do a better job of playing well against them. And a lot of times that starts with having a good fan base and having that electric crowd and the football team there. And I got to talk to Coach Tinker, make sure that they're there, because we all know how important that game is. To go out there and compete on the recruiting side as much as it is on the conference side, and making sure that we're taking care of business when we're at home. So hopefully you bring some friends to this whole weekend. We got some great things set up for the students with some tailgating and things. Once again, our administration has done just a wonderful job of getting that buzz going come basketball season. And a lot of our guys, a lot of the kids are gone here after this weekend, and we're back at home for 4 more games. So hopefully we can have more community support. It kind of starts with a group that comes here, and a great group to bring some friends, so to speak. But 2 big games for us this weekend, and then like Ryan said, we're back at home next weekend. So thanks so much, and look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Thanks, Coach. Well, the legend returns today. He's going to make his first appearance at the Hardrocker Luncheon. Get a little smile on him. That's what I need right there. It is indoor track season, all right? And they were already up at Black Hill State. Welcome, head coach Jerry Schafer.
Well, it's great to be back. I know I filled in for Steve early in the cross-country season. So I grew my hair back for this, and we're all ready to go. So, yeah, this weekend, Toys for Tots, that's a really good charity to support, and so if you get a chance, help support that with the basketball teams. Get out and support the basketball teams. I know they're really working hard. We've seen some great games out of these guys and gals, and so just get out and support them this weekend as well. We did have an opportunity to go with an early meet in December here last weekend. We typically use that meet to see where our kids are at that have been training since the day after Labor Day. So it's a long time coming for a lot of those kids that didn't play a fall sport. And so that meet's pretty important for us. We also had our football and soccer and volleyball athletes and cross-country people. We had some of them run as well, but not everybody. They're not all ready to go when they come off of their fall sports, but we did have a few of them compete. So it was a kind of a mixed bag for us. We didn't have the full team going on Saturday. But the kids we did have go gave us a really, really good start. We know where they're at now. We got a chance to look at the freshman class, and that was also good for us, so we can see what we need to do work-wise with them to improve them for the rest of the season. Just want to highlight some of the performances. We had 3 people that finished in first place in their events. Shannon Morse is a junior for us. She won the high jump for the women, and personal best indoors for her at just over 5 feet. We have Brad Ware is our multi-eventer, and indoors the men do 7 events. So not that decathlon outdoors, but indoors it's 7 events. A couple of sprints. They do the 60 dash, the 60 hurdles, the shot put, the long jump, the high jump, and the pole vault. And Brad did a really nice job. He had 3 personal bests out of his 7 events. Did not hit a personal best in the total scoring, but he did do well enough to win the competition, and a great start for him. He was about 700 points ahead of where he started last year. So as a sophomore, he's doing a really good job of improving and getting better. I'm very excited with his pole vault because that's one of the events I work with him most on. And he tied his pole vault personal best from outdoor last year at 12 feet 5 inches. This is a kid who couldn't bend a pole when we started working with him last year. And I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't clear 14 feet by the end of the season this year. So he's developing a good open event as well as his multi-events, and we're really excited for him. Our third first place winner was Isaiah McGuire. He is a football player that decided he was ready to go, and after a couple weeks of practice, we felt like he could run the 60 and maybe the 200 and do a really good job. And Isaiah actually won the 60 dash and ran 100th of a second off of Josh Thomas's school record for the 60 dash. He ran 6.87, and so that bodes well for him, and it also is going to make Josh Thomas work a little harder for his 5th year senior season, and so we're excited about that. Isaiah did tweak his hamstring at the finish of that 60 dash final, so he wasn't able to run the 200, but at least the hamstring's not serious, it's just a little bit of a strain, and so he'll be back in January. Had a couple of second places. Jack Batho, our sophomore shot putter, did a really nice job, flew over 50 feet for second place. Not quite the provisional qualifier we were hoping for from him. Jack was also coming off the football season, and he really had only had about 4 days of practice before we competed him this weekend. So to throw as well as he did, that's a pretty good start for short practice times. Our other second place was Austin Cameron, a young man, a freshman, 800 runner. Didn't run a great time, but did compete very well and finished in second in the 800 meters. We had several people that finished in third place. Jonathan Murray, another sophomore, finished third in both the 200 and 400. Set a personal best in the 200 and 400 both for the indoor season. Riley Sutton, one of our cross-country girls, ran the 3K and finished third. Ran a good solid time, not with personal best, but a good solid time coming off the cross-country. Nathan Courtney is a young man who played football and has come out for the first time as a sophomore. Hasn't high jumped for 2 years. Finished third in the high jump, and good solid 6'4", 6'4" jump plus. Tied, as far as the height goes, he tied with the 2 jumpers from Blackhill State that finished ahead of him, but he had a couple more misses than they did, so he ended up in third place. So we're really excited about the possibility of Nathan on the team and getting him going. His personal best out of high school was 6'8", and so if we get a little bit more practice under his belt, he's going to be a real good legend for us. The other one that finished third for us was Jayla Jarkin, sophomore shot putter, weight thrower. And the shot put distance wasn't nearly what it had been last year indoors, was good enough for third place. She did, even though she didn't place in the top 5 in the weight throw, she did improve her weight throw by several feet and had a personal best there. The other people that had personal bests, we had a high jumper, sophomore Carter Kosuski, who also had a personal best, and of course Jayla's PR in the weight throw. Our freshman class, we've got 18 kids that are freshmen this year, and both the men's and women's side total, and 13 of them competed. Very good, strong showing for those freshmen. The ones that placed in the top 5, Allie Hodgson, who is a sprinter out of Colorado, was 5th in the 60 dash. Adrian Kusin was 5th in the shot put. She's out of Yankton High School. And Wyatt Kynes out of Dickinson was 5th in the high jump as well. So pretty good effort. The kids, the freshmen that didn't place, did perform well. They were very competitive in their events. And so we're excited about what they're going to get done as well going forward. Our next meet is in January the 13th at Rock Hill State again. And so we are looking forward to that. We have turned the kids loose for final week. They're training on their own. It's always scary for the coaches when we give them workouts and say, okay, you got 5 weeks to come back in as good or better shape than you're in right now. So, but I think the kids are motivated to do a really good job. And so they're going to go home and they're going to train in the snow, and they're going to train in their barns, in their basements, and we expect them to come back in really good shape and be ready to go in January. So, any questions for me? Yeah.
You have some pretty good relays. Are you going to run those guys in relays?
We are hoping to have some really good relays. Took a little bit of a hit on the men's 4x1 outdoors when Kevin Thompson went down with his ACL, but we are excited because we've got a couple of good freshmen that can slide up into that place and still get us a solid 4x1 relay. 4x4, I think we also have good numbers of people to pick from to run a solid 4x4. And with Jonathan Murray's development, I think as a sophomore, we would expect him to go under 50 seconds. We know Isaiah McGuire has been under 50 seconds already as a freshman. We know Josh Thomas can go under 50 seconds if we can get him to run 400. We've got a couple other guys that are really good 400 runners that we think are capable of getting to that sub 50. And that'll give us a good men's 4x4. The women, we have some good solid sprinters as well. We have more sprinters on the women's side than we've had in a while. So we think we can put together some good relays there as well. So, other questions? Yeah, Tim.
Larry, how many kids do you have for this race and how's that start last?
We have 20 women, and we're down probably 2 women from last year. A couple of injuries, a couple of returning women, a 5th-year athlete that didn't want to come back out for her 5th year. We have 30 men, which is right about where we were last year. We are looking at trying to build our numbers over the next few years, but solid numbers at least to be competitive. And I like the quality that we've got in the numbers we have. Because that's always going to be important for us, improving in the RMAT. When we get our cross-country runners back in the mix athletically here, we're competing. I think we're going to be a better team overall. Again, we didn't run very many distance runners on Saturday, and so when we add them back into the mix, coming off the cross-country, we're going to be a good solid team. Okay, thanks, Luke.
Thank you, Coach. See if I can eliminate the feedback here a little bit. Couple of reminders, big weekend for the Hardrockers RMAC home openers, as Coach Henry, Coach Larsen talked about. So Friday night, we'll see you out there. Colorado Christian, Saturday, Colorado Mines, and Toys for Tots. So bring a toy, and the Hardrockers will hopefully get a lot of toys for the Toys for Tots program. Also, a reminder, we love coming to Buffalo Wild Wings. They give us a steal on lunch every time we come here. So please leave a nice tip for your server. That's important to us to make sure we have a great experience, keep coming back here. So please leave a nice tip, and look forward to seeing you this weekend. Thanks for coming out. Enjoy your lunch.